Ahead on RPM tonight, 57 drivers. Only 2 spots. Who's going to be in the front row as qualifying cranks up in Daytona? 15 times the 500 winner has started in the top 2. Spring training isn't just for baseball. The kart series is testing in Homestead, where Team Rahal dominates and Dario Franchitti recuperates. And the Goodies Dash series blasts off in Daytona Beach. All good things must have a beginning. RPM tonight is next.
Going green, this is line 5. Going green, this is line 5. Bring them down.
You can kind of feel it now, can't you? It's all about to crank up. Glad to have you with us on RPM tonight. Coming up on the show, Target hitting a brand new bullseye, but we're going to start with who's going to start up front at Daytona. While drivers were required to make their laps, many Chevy drivers deemed it an exercise in futility. Of qualifying at Daytona, Sterling Marlin said, quote, "This Monte Carlo, you can walk in any Chevy dealership and buy one just like it. You might have to go to Mars to get one like the Fords are running." By Cup standards, the Chevys have been light years behind. In practice Friday, the quickest Chevrolet, 10th fastest overall. So qualifying for the Daytona 500, remember, only the top 2 spots are set from this. First man out is Johnny Benson in his new number 10 machine, 188 and change. He has the pole. He held it for an hour, but only until the monochromatic Warrior comes out. Jeff Gordon a little loose in the turn to finish up this 23rd place. Dale Earnhardt Jr. enjoying a beverage, watching his dad. Not a black car, but an orange car. The man in orange, 188 and change. How about this vaunted rookie class we've been talking about? Little E, not terribly impressive, but not awful, 188.2. Scott Pruitt was a little better, 189 and change. Matt Kenseth, 187, tab below, and Stacey Compton, nearly 189. He was 13th. As for the Yates Ball Club, Dale Jarrett, the reigning champion, absolutely setting the track on fire. 191 and change. He's on the pole. And his teammate, Ricky Rudd, making a run, but falls just short, just over 190 miles per hour. DJ on the pole for the second time. Earnhardt and his Richard Childress team going back to the drawing board. So this is how it looks, at least for the top 2 spots. Team Yates locked in. Remember, only the front row set now. DJ just the second defending Winston Cup champ to win the pole. When the Daytona 500 was the season opener, Gordon did it a year ago and, of course, won the race. First time Rudd's been on the front row for the 500 since 1983. I'll bet he's feeling better and better about that decision to sell his team. Bill Elliott, third. He'll start outside DJ in the first twin, 125 on Thursday. Team Yates absolutely getting it done in this one. DJ, Ricky Rudd are with John Kernan.
For the first time since 1992, teammates are starting on the front row for the Daytona 500. Dale Jarrett and Ricky Rudd. DJ is on the pole. Got to be a good feeling, but I know you had to be a little bit nervous when Ricky went out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I was nervous. I had the feeling that Ricky was going to beat us because I knew his car had been awful good in practice, and it seemed that the wind had died down some, and I thought that was going to help him, and maybe it didn't work to his advantage, but it's great that we've got these cars on the front row. I think it shows the effort at Robert Yates Racing that was put forth over the winter, and now we gave them a little reward, something they can feel good about for a week.
I think whenever we all found out that this union was going to happen, we knew it was going to be a competitive one. Ricky, did you think you had a shot to knock him off the pole?
I knew we had a chance. I didn't know that we could do it. We went out and practiced this morning and ran a pretty good lap. We didn't run our second lap, and we're sitting there trying to do the math. Well, you know your second lap's quicker, but how much quicker? And I think they were probably doing the same thing. They were trying to figure the math on it. Those guys are scoundrels. They laid back a little bit, I think. I don't think they showed everything till it came time, and they probably got me a little excited. Thought we had a shot at it, but I'm tickled to death to have a shot at front row of the Daytona 500, a chance to drive with these guys, have Dale as a teammate. Man, I just think it's a sign of things to come.
Now, DJ, you've got a couple of Daytona 500 wins. Ricky doesn't have any yet, so if it came down to it, would you help him get a win next week?
You got it, man. That's what this is about. I mean, I can't tell you how excited I am to have Ricky as part of this organization, and I think this is only the start of big things for Robert Yates Racing, and if we can help him get into victory lane, we'll certainly do that.
Well,
I don't think he needs our help, though.
Is it going to be a friendly battle for the championship, you think, this year between you two?
Well, Dale, he's very competitive, obviously. He's Winston Cup champion. He didn't get there because he wasn't competitive. So, he's going to help me as much as he possibly can, I'm sure, and I'm going to do the same for him when it comes down to the last laps, and we're going to try to beat each other. I mean, that's racing. That's what it's about. But to get the cars to the front row, to get the cars where they can run 1-2. I just, you know, anything I can do to bounce an idea off Dale, and, you know, I'm open for information, and I'll take all I can get, and hopefully we can help Dale a little bit. Obviously, it doesn't look like he needs a lot of help from last year, but, you know, if we can help him any kind of way, we will. And I think, like I say, it signs of sort of the things to come, hopefully, at Yates Racing, that you got two good, solid teams that can bounce things off each other and only make them better.
Teammates on the front row for the Daytona 500. One other note, both of these guys, when the green flag drops, will be going for that $1 million no bull 5 bonus, so a little added extra effort for them to do a good job next Sunday.
Nothing like cold hard cash to get that done, John. Thanks a lot. Starting up front at Daytona certainly helped. 9 of the last 20 winners have started in the front row. Only Derek Cope came from outside the top 10, and you might recall that the pole sitter had a flat in the final turn to open the door for Cope on that day, or there would be no winner starting outside the top 10. Well, the only Chevy in the top 10, in fact, only Chevy in the top 15 was Mike Skinner, and he spoke afterwards.
We knew that we was no way going to make the top 20, and I think we were like 19th or 20th or something like that in yesterday's practice, and we knew that we wasn't going to make the race, and if we crashed or something happened in the 125, we was going to be dependent on a provisional starting place, and we said, you know, we're not going to sit on the pole anyway. We might as well gamble, and so we tried to deal with the oil, and we got away with it.
I was a little nervous when we went through tech because we had to crank the spoiler up a little farther than I thought we needed to, and they were pretty brutal on that stuff, and I thought we lose a little speed there, but I think the low fluid levels and all the stuff that the guys always do, a little extra timing in motor, all that stuff made up the difference, and the car qualified good.
We have a really fast car here this weekend. We've got a great engine. I'm used to having a car that's not very competitive, a middle-of-the-pack kind of car here, and trying to do more with it than most. And, well, I've got a great car to work with here, and maybe we can go out and contend for this 500. It'd really be nice. It's been fast, you know, all through practice.
I knew it was running pretty good when I looked at the tach down the back straightaway. I didn't know how good it'd be, and I was surprised it run that well from what we'd run in practice, but they really teamed it up to qualify.
Being a new team, we don't have points. We don't have much to fall back on, so we have to run strong. And, you know, Ford's done a good job with the car. Yates has given us good engines, and now we just got to figure out how to get a little bit more out of the car. The guy's done a good job, but we just need that little bit more.
All right, let's run through some more of the speeds. And again, odd-numbered finishers in the first 125 on Thursday. The evens go in the second race. Rusty hoping the 21st time will be the charm. Rookie Scott Pruitt apparently enjoying the fenders so far in the R's. You see beside their names to note the rookies. Tony Stewart, 15th fastest, only the 5th best Pontiac. Kenny Irwin, the fastest Chevy, not driven by Mike Skinner. And Big E, 17th. Of course, we all know he's just sandbagging until the Twins, which he absolutely owns. Jeff Burton, 14th fastest. Not bad for a guy who says he's not a natural qualifier. He was part of the Ford Brigade up front, and he says he's not sympathetic to those Chevys.
It's amazing that we've talking so much about cars when we hadn't even raced yet. You know, what it reminds me of is we came down here about 3 years ago, and people called this Taurus the tortoise. They called it all kinds of things because it made a lot of drag. Well, now the Monte Carlo makes a lot of drag. They won't be complaining at Rockingham. They built a downforce car. They built a car that'll go fast at Rockingham and Darlington and those kind of places. The price you have to pay is you lose some speed here, and that's what they did. The Fords aren't any faster. Look at the Pontiacs. They're right there with us. The Chevrolets are slower. They built the car. They got to deal with it.
And let the games begin. Something you'll hear throughout NASCAR 2000, the manufacturer's war. Though there are a ton of Fords up front, you could argue that Pontiac had the best day. Half of their entries in the top 15 in speed, and Chevy, as Burton alluded to, obviously, with the biggest problem. Well, between them, they've been the Daytona bridesmaid 4 different times. Bobby Labonte's been able to start in the top 3 the last couple of years, while Terry's going to try for the 22nd time to win Daytona. Will their Pontiac and Chevys be left at the altar again? Also ahead, cold, hard crash. As the Goodies Dash Series is underway, who will need to take a Goodies as a result of that? In spring training, left us from Daytona, defending race champion Jeff Gordon, 23rd fastest on Saturday. His worst Daytona 500 start, 29th in '98. The other time he was defending race champ. Monochromatic Warriors have some work to do in the Twin 125 on Thursday. Some more results. Johnny Benson was out there first, held the pole for over an hour, wound up 19th best. You see Little E in the rookie category, 22nd. Next page, please. Look down and you see Sterling Marlin sitting there at 29th. Earlier in the show, John Turner alluded to the fact that with Jarrett and Rudd on the front row. It's the first time since '92 the teammates have been there. Marlin was part of that when he teamed with Bill Elliott for Junior Johnson. Well, Jarrett, Elliott, Martin, Stewart, all guys who will presumably challenge Dale Earnhardt in the first Twin 125 race Thursday, and all guys who thus have no shot if history repeats itself. Earnhardt's won an astounding 10 straight Twin 125 qualifying races, but Chevy's trouble and his 17th best run on Saturday left him less than overwhelmed.
Happier about picking up as much as we did. I mean, we ran, the first lap was faster than we ran in practice, so we was definitely happy. And Richard and the guys just keep working. They don't give up anything.
The car makes pretty good downforce in the rear, but that also makes the car have a lot of drag, and it just, you know, it's going to take a lot more horsepower to make this car get through the air faster. So, you know, with the new rules, the springs and shock changes, you know, the spoiler's up in the air, and you know, the car just feels like you're pulling a parachute.
Just don't have the speed that we like to have. Don't know why. Can't explain it. We've, you know, got everything's a little bit newer and better than last year, but not the new shock rules, but just don't have the speed.
It's a little disappointing because when Dale Jarrett went out and ran his time, we knew that's what we had to run, and we knew we could run quicker than we did in practice, but we didn't. That was going to be too much out of reach.
It was a lot better than what we thought it was going to be. You know, it's hard to tell when you come to Daytona. We struggled the whole time we were here and in practice, and you know, the guys, Greg Zeppelin and all the guys in the Home Depot team always seem to find a little bit for qualifying.
We were about 4/10 slower yesterday than what we ran in qualifying, so I'd say we gained a little bit on it, and we're pretty satisfied with it. As you know, we ran a 97 in practice, and we ended up with 82 in qualifying, so that's a little bit of improvement there that we really wasn't expecting.
Well, Little E would probably be well advised not to expect too much at Daytona. The Great American Race has not been kind to rookies. Tony Stewart started on the outside pole last year and came home 28th. In fact, Jeff Gordon is the last rookie to finish in the top 5 when he was 5th back in 1993. Still to come here on RPM tonight, we will look ahead to a race that might be an exhibition but is most certainly a competition. Some racing from Daytona, the Goodies Dash Series Discount Auto Parts 200. Ricky Bryant apparently ready to go. Second lap, big time racing deal. Shannon Bryant's going down and taking a whole lot of people with him. Big-time melee and pile-up caused a 40-minute delay in the race. Some got lucky. Angie Wilson switched ends, but able to recover and continue to run. She finished 11th. Zach Brewer, meanwhile, caught up in the deal and needed a stretcher. He was taken to a local hospital with an injured right leg. Racing did resume finally on lap number 47. Defending champ Christian Elder held Robert Huffman and Johnny Chapman at bay. Lap 72, Elder caught in between, and he had a good car. His guys worked hard. Away it goes. Robert Huffman with the lead 4 times. He has been second place. Robert Huffman challenged by Johnny Chapman, but not going to pass. None shall pass. Huffman finally takes the checkered flag, 28th win of his career. Well, Mark Martin pulled the Lucky Lizard and took the pole for tomorrow's Bud Shootout. Drivers drew starting positions by a blind draw of plastic Louis Lizard.